So good morning. My name is Jane Morgan and thank you for joining the Bigtincan Holdings Ltd Q3 FY22 Appendix 4C and quarterly report briefing. Today I am joined by Bigtincan co-founder and CEO David Keane, Global Financial Controller Cyril D'Souza, and Chief Product Officer Stefan Toulon, who will discuss today's quarterly results release and provide an update with a Q&A session to follow. To ask a question throughout today's presentation, please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. David, I will hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Jane. And yes, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bigtincan's Q3 FY22 Appendix 4C quarterly report briefing. As Jane said, my name is David Keane, the CEO and co-founder of Bigtincan, and joining me here today is Cyril D'Souza, our Global Financial Controller, and Stefan Toulon, our Chief Product Officer. Now, for today's call, we will be discussing the Appendix 4C report that was released to the ASX this morning, together with a brief supporting slide presentation, which we'll be using today. That presentation is also available on the ASX and at our Bigtincan investor site at investor.bigtincan.com. Before we start this quarterly briefing, I do want to begin by sending my thanks to the global Bigtincan team, who have again in this quarter shown an amazing ability to execute on our vision, to delight our customers, and to deliver what I see as a strong result. Okay, let's get started and talk about the materials for today's result. So I will start using those slides, and hopefully you can follow those along or view them here on the screen. So I guess some highlights for the quarter. As you would have seen from the report, cash receipts increased 181% to 34.3 million. From the previous corresponding quarter of FY21. Operating cash payments were 33.8 million, and that was impacted as Bigtincan made some strategic investments into system infrastructure and new product development work. The company was about $500,000 operating cash positive for the quarter and ended the quarter with $45.4 million of cash and cash equivalents. So certainly what I see as a strong result for the quarter from a cash perspective. But as important, I think, for investors is to think a bit about the trading highlights and outlook. One of the things that Stefan will talk to you today about is the software reviews report, which was published in this quarter, where Bigtincan won a gold medal and was positioned well against our direct competitors. We also conducted an event that I see as one of the best ways for investors to get a direct view of what Bigtincan is building for our products. It's called our Investor Product and Tech Day. That was a couple of weeks ago. And it's a great chance for investors to have a view of Bigtincan's product strategy. Now, a recording of that full event is also available at investor.bigtincan.com if you haven't yet had a chance to watch it. This quarter, the company again demonstrated its strength with new wins and expansion. And we'll talk about our multi-hub product strategy today and how that offers customers benefits in being able to add new capabilities as they expand with Bigtincan, and also offers us ability to grow revenues with existing customers through cross-sell and upsell. Product launches in the quarter included VR showrooms and Bigtincan for Salesforce, both demonstrating innovation and leadership in the market and offering opportunities for new revenue streams throughout this financial year and into the future. And as we talked about before, that ongoing execution by the team all around the world and building on the technology and R&D investments that the company has made to build the strong results for FY22 and beyond. And again, as we've talked about before, the company on track to meet or exceed 119 in ARR and $109 million in revenue for FY22. Now, if we think about those results, I think one of the things that's certainly pleasing to me, and I really enjoy talking to investors about, is the customers that choose to work with us and to trust our technology to drive their go-to-market motion. And we've had some interesting wins and expansion this quarter, including new deals with Lumen, Lionco, Infomarkets, Panasonic, Genentech, American Express Travel, and others. And you can see there a continued expansion of some household name customers who believe the Bigtincan solution provides them the best way to address the challenges of our digital and remote economy. Now, I've got an interesting quote here from Ed Medeiros, who's the head of sales training and development of Clarivate. Clarivate is, you may know Clarivate, it was the research arm of Thomson Reuters. It was spun off in 2016. It's about a $1.5 billion company. And I think when you think about what Ed talks about here and where this technology can have such an impact is on driving ROI. So I'll read what Ed had to say. Bigtincan provides a great user experience that we can create in a fraction of the time our legacy platforms required. It has allowed us to innovate and build at scale quickly. And we're hearing that from our customers all over the world. You know, the challenges of this rapidly moving economy, the impact of digitization and the need to empower remote teams means that organizations need to be able to move rapidly and effectively and deliver rapid ROI when they think about tools that can empower their teams and create what we talk about here is the buying experience of the future. And that's really what the Bigtincan solution is delivering for organizations like Clarivate. Now, to talk to us more about the market and technology update and give us a bit of a view of some of the developments in the quarter, I'd like to ask Stefan Chulon, our Chief Product Officer, to take you through it. Steph.
Thank you, David. Yes, I'd actually love to share a brief update on Bigtincan's success in the market, along with this quarter's product and technology highlights. If you could progress to the next slide, thank you. So our vision at Bigtincan is really based on the belief that buying experiences should be engaging, provide value, and guide people to the best decisions. Now, to achieve this, our mission is pretty simple. And to create the buying experience of the future, we focus on two simple concepts: empowering sellers and helping them engage their customers. We've actually jumped a couple of slides there, David. There we go. Hey, there we go. Thank you very much. Yes, two simple concepts: empowering sellers and helping them engage their customers. Now, on the next slide, I think this really reflects this focus. Now, I'm thrilled to share that Bigtincan was named as clear leader in the 2022 Sales Enablement Data Quadrant report from Software Reviews, scoring 8.9 out of 10 in satisfaction based on actual end user reviews. So how do we do this? Well, it's all based on our multi-hub offering. Next slide, please, David. Thank you. Powered by our intelligent enablement platform, our learning hub, content hub, and engagement hub power the solutions that our customers need. And at the Investor Product and Technology event earlier in March, we took a walk through a day in the life of a customer using Bigtincan's suite and solutions, and shared that during the last quarter, we released over 50 plus new features. And a few of those highlighted on the slide now, which include call intelligence capabilities, our new Salesforce integration, custom permissions and powerful content controls, AI coaching enhancements, accessibility standards, and enhancing the search experience. Along with our very first, and we think the market's most compelling virtual showroom solution. Now, to take us through a finance update, I'll pass to Cyril.
Thank you, Stefan. Good morning, everyone. So as per slide 12, customer cash receipts were for the quarter 34.3 million, an overall increase of 181% over the previous corresponding period, and an increase of 30% from the previous quarter of the amount of 26.3 million. This was driven by a large percentage of accounts receivable balances from the 33.4 million that we had at December 2021, as well as all the new, expanded, and renewal opportunities that were closed, billed, and collected within the quarter. Total operating cash payments for the quarter were 33.8 million, an overall increase of 115% from the previous corresponding period, and an increase of 34% from the previous quarter of 25.2 million. Now, the increase in the operating cash outflow is mainly related to staff, contractor, and infrastructure costs necessary to support the growth in North America, Europe, and the Asia Pacific. The company invested approximately $2 million, as David mentioned before, in the quarter related to server and hosting infrastructure, of which 1.2 million of that is non-recurring going forward. In addition, there was 400,000 allocated to the integration of Brainshark within the quarter, making the total spend related to integration specifically related to Brainshark of $1 million. Within investment activities, we continue to invest in long-term software development projects, as we believe these projects are essential for long-term sustainable growth, with 4.4 million of costs allocated. This is a slight reduction to the 4.9 million in the previous quarter, as the business is reviewing the relevant spend going forward. Moving on to slide 13. Thanks, David. Net cash from operating activities was 500,000. Whilst it is a slight reduction of 600,000 from the previous quarter, it is a 3.9 million improvement from the previous corresponding period. And as at the end of March, Bigtincan is well placed at 45.5 million in cash and cash equivalents. Moving on to slide 14. Q3 has historically been a very strong quarter in terms of cash receipts for the business, as we tend to close a lot of the business towards the end of the calendar year. And you can see that as displayed in the previous years. As mentioned before, total cash receipts for the quarter of 34.3, when multi-year payments of 1.1 or 3% of total receipts are backed out, the 33.2, as you can see in the dark blue column, represents a strong correlation with FY22 forecast ARR, accounting for 28% of the total. Cash receipts growth for the quarter was driven by a good influx of medium to large scale customers that signed up at the end of the first half, as well as Q3 of FY22. Thanks all, that's all for me, and I'll hand back to David.
Thank you, Stefan and Cyril. So look, as we think about the rest of this financial year, it's important for investors to have a bit of a view on how the company sees the last few months of this year. And a couple of things I'd like to call out. Number one is the company continues to release new products into the market. We've built a strong machine that is able to generate new product offerings that add value inside our existing hubs models, and also as features that offer additional opportunities for upgraded dollars per seat as we continue to add to the hubs product model. We talked about cross-sell and upsell before, and certainly we're seeing benefits of the Brainshark acquisition and the overall growing customer base, as both Brainshark customers and existing Bigtincan customers appreciate the benefits of how they can take advantage of the different hubs and add them together to build that complete solution. And the company's operating leverage continues to be a focus as the business sees the benefits of increased scale to add to improving unit economics, which should continue throughout this quarter. Well, look, that's it for the presentation material for this quarter.
Thank you all for joining us for the Bigtincan Holdings Ltd Q3 FY 2022 Appendix 4C and quarterly report briefing. A copy of today's presentation will be available on the Bigtincan website in the coming days, and we look forward to hosting you again soon. Thanks again.